Hi, I'm Brian with Pioneer Builders. Today, we're going sewer hunting. Let's get going. Okay, but seriously, hopefully we'll find our sewer point of connection today. What I'm going to do is walk you through what it actually takes to be able to find where you connect up. The principles will hopefully help when it comes to things like electrical, water, things of that nature, utilities. And there was a bit of a process on this one. What we'll do first is go through the building drawings that we have. I ended up getting these from the local utility, which was very nice of them. Unfortunately, what ends up happening in reality is design drawings don't always match what happened in the field. As far as I know, there are no record drawings, no photos, no videos, things like that. I did talk to a guy who's done installation out here. He helped out a little bit. He said there should be wood marking where the points of connection are. Well, we did find some wood, and of course it's rotten in the ground. But anyway, let's go ahead and go through the design drawings. The upper part of this particular sheet shows the plan view. It helps because you can see what the sewer main line is, and it gives you a good feel for what the slopes are and how the main line routing was. There's also different symbols on here that mean different things. These three here, or four actually, are manhole covers. We'll talk about what that corresponds to in a second. You can also see with the sewer main line, it has arrows, and that helps to see what grade or what slope the sewer is following. This isn't a low pressure sewer main, so it's not going uphill. Instead, sewer is conveyed via the force of gravity. We really like that. It makes it a lot easier to have to deal with. As you look at the plans, you'll see that there's contours, and that helps to see what the slope of the lay of the land is. And as we come around now, we have a good feel that the sewer main is in the street. You can see where the points of connection are designed for the uphill lots, but we're dealing with downhill lots. So you follow the sewer main around, it goes down between, well, it goes next to a house, and then it actually wraps around, and it's in the golf course, which makes it kind of interesting. We'll probably talk about that in a little bit. So as we look at the downhill side, we can see where our points of connection are supposed to be. So you've got the sewer main that goes through, and then you have T's that come up to the various sites. It's our responsibility as the builder to be able to tie into those T's so that our sewer will go down into that sewer main. As we look at the lower portion of the drawing, this is a section drawing that helps us to see what the elevation of the sewer is and how it drops. When you look at the top side, you can see where the grade is, and then these vertical rises correspond to the manholes. On the other side here, you can see the feet in elevation above sea level. So that helps us to see where the natural grade is, and then where our manholes are, and then how deep that sewer main is. That should help us to know where the T's are coming off below grade, so you have some idea of how deep you need to dig. As we come around looking at this, the three sites that we're working on right now is 120, 130, and 150. We've already found 120 and 150, but as you look at the bottom, you'll see that the sewer main ends up referring to C sheet G2-3. 150 doesn't have that same level of information. As we come over onto this sheet though, the orientation of the drawing, so to speak, shifts around, and now we can pick up where that sewer drops, and then it's behind our houses. Now we can see where the laterals come off, and in a perfect world where we would have been able to find our sewers. It's kind of interesting, you'll see what looks like asphalt or pavement on this drawing. That's actually for the golf carts. So we have to think about what's going on with the golf course when it comes to this. From the top side, I want to show you how the lay of the land naturally falls. So behind me, you can see that the slope very clearly comes down at this angle, and then the street comes down here. This is one of the houses. We already found its sewer on the backside, but you wouldn't want to have to pump your sewer up here if you can work with gravity. Gravity is a force that you can pretty well rely on. But when you look across the golf course, it's basically a valley. So while this slope comes down this way, that slope comes down that way. The sewer main then comes through. You can see the gravity or the manhole cover right here. The sewer main comes through here, and then I'll walk you through how it wraps around, and then it runs through the golf course out that direction. We had just been up there, so as we're following that gravity sewer, it comes down here, and you'll be able to see where this manhole cover is. The sewer goes up the hill here. We're actually building this house up here, and we've connected up to the sewer. So both of these lines run in, and then they start going down the hillside, and the sewer main comes down. Now you can see the manhole cover, and this is really where it turns the corner. Now, and of course we have to be a little careful, you'll see the golf course here in a minute, the sewer main runs this way. So that valley came down, and now the water and the waste is going to be flowing this direction. Now we're pretty much at the low part of the valley as it pertains to us, and this manhole was critical in finding each one of our T's where they lateraled up to our property. What we ended up doing was hiring a private locate company who dropped a rover into this manhole, and we're able to drive it this direction and then that direction, and we're able to find all three of those T's. They can let us know what the depth is, where it's at, because they spray paint it, and then we actually got a thumb drive where we could watch the video. I think you'll find that kind of interesting to see where those T's actually took place. Then they spray painted the ground, and that helped us out. This was the first one that we actually worked on. The challenge that we found, and of course there's always challenges in construction, is they didn't stub the sewer up to our property. So we scratched around and couldn't find it. Finally, what we ended up having to do was go pretty much up to that point where we knew the sewer lateral was, dig down. We ended up finding the sewer tape, we found the sewer, and that just helped us to learn what we should be doing from there on out, was really just dig deep enough to find the sewer locating tape. We ended up finding some tracer wire, that helped us out. And then my brother-in-law was pretty smart. He thought maybe they did things in 20-foot lengths. I literally was just watching to make sure I didn't get hit by the golfer. So that's been the element of safety we've had to contend with. In this part of the sewer routing, the sewer main runs this way, and it's in the golf course, and it's on this side of the golf cart trail. I really didn't want to dig over here. What we ended up doing was digging here. That's where we found what we were working with. As we came up, eventually, we started digging down here, and here's where we found it. You can't see our pipe down there, but we have the tracer wire up, and then we'll end up putting this piece of sheeting back over for protection, put the cones back on. Now when it comes time to hire a sewer contractor, we've taken out a lot of the risk, a lot of the unknowns for what they need to do when it comes to giving us a bid. They're going to know where their point of connection is here. They'll know how deep in the ground is, and we've done a lot of the legwork when it comes to discovering this information. Now's where the rubber meets the road, or where the excavator meets the dirt, you might say. So you've seen the whole event to get up to this point, and here's the nice example of where they have this line that follows the sewer main, and then here's the lateral with the arrow pointing up to our property, and then looks like they have 5'3". So that gives us an idea of depth at this point. One thing that we have to keep in mind is this could really be a pivot point. So that lateral, while it should be straight off, I can't trust it 100%. The other thing that we've learned by doing the other two is that the lateral doesn't always go up to the property line. So here's what we're going to end up doing. To the best of our ability, we're going to scratch about right here. What I'll end up doing is using the excavator to peel the sod back and save it. Then we're going to dig down, hopefully find the sewer tape, and that'll give us a much better idea of where we're going to be at to find that sewer stub, and hopefully we'll find the tracer wire as we're scratching around. All right, now we're just going to start digging. And that is the wood. He found the wood that was supposed to mark it. About 4 feet deep. That's it, he found it. Other than cleaning it up a little bit, that's basically what we were trying to accomplish today. So what was supposed to have happened is this wood should have been above grade so that somebody would know where the end of the sewer is. Instead, it was more like 4 feet down. Thankfully, we've done enough of these that when Greg saw that, he knew we were getting close. He's now marked the tracer wire back here with this stake that he just installed. And then down here is the cap. So this ends up being a 6-inch. It's either going to be a 3 or a 4-inch that comes out of the house. That'll have to be connected up. Now we'll do the same thing where we cover this up and protect it. And Greg will use sod to backfill over this spot here. We'll probably go ahead and put some sewer tracer tape over the top, just so if somebody digs on this side of it, they'll be able to see that there's something below grade. You know, Greg's actually right. He just mentioned we never even hit the tracer tape, so we don't need to worry about it. But my son Ethan is with me today. It's summertime. This is really nice. He got to see this whole process, and it's kind of fun. If people know the why for what you're doing and get to see it all the way through, boy, that's going to be nice. And then eventually we'll be able to connect up. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We covered a lot of different things. We covered civil engineering design, being able to read those prints, what the natural lay of the land was, the recognition that what's on drawings isn't always what happens in reality. And then to be able to find these laterals, the work it takes to get there, you can see it takes thinking. It takes being able to kind of meditate on the different factors that are involved, and then iteratively take one step at a time until you get the entire process completed. I'm on Instagram. If you want to see the day-to-day operations, feel free to give me a follow at Pioneer Builders Inc. on Instagram. Well, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching me on The Build Show.